We are all doing life, but who knew life could be this funny? It's Doing Life with Maria and Chad. It's our podcast.
There's a million seltzers on the market, talking about the hard seltzers with the alcohol in them. But now, one of your favorite fast food restaurants, Maria, is getting in the game. They have their own seltzer coming out. I'll tell you about what their flavors are and where you can get it and when you can get it, in addition to tons of other things coming up on today's podcast. Maria, I am ready to save your relationship right at the start of the podcast today.
Where were you 10 years ago?
Well, it's funny you bring up the number 10 because I have 10 very easy steps to save your relationship today.
Should I take notes?
Please do. Please do.
Okay.
Valentine's Day is long past. We are on, we're on to St. Patrick's Day here soon. But it's never too late to save your relationship if you would like to listen to these steps. Here we go. Turn off your smartphone.
So true. I agree with that 100%.
So does that mean I'm a bad relationship person? That I'd rather leave my smartphone on than save my relationship?
Well, I find myself sometimes at night, we're sitting in the living room and we're like a couple teenagers. TV's on, he's on his phone, I'm on my phone. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Go to bed at the same time.
My husband tries to do that, but sometimes I want to just stay up late and not talk to anybody and do what I want for a couple hours. So
during the week, this never really happens because I stay up a lot later working on the East Coast, doing stuff for Mojo and that show. But last night, I actually kind of tried to hurry and get my stuff done. And then I went to bed and guess what I found? Somebody was sleeping with the dog.
I thought the dog wasn't allowed to sleep in bed with you.
Did you think that was going to last, really? It doesn't actually. So when I come in, I'm the bad guy. I have to take the dog out of the bed and put the dog in her crate. But until then, it's just party time. And my wife was sleeping, so I got to get better at that. So I got to shut my phone off. I got to go to bed at the same time if I can. I bet you Eric, your husband, does this for you. Is it hashtag cute husband? Is that what you call him?
Yeah, hashtag cute husband.
Brew a cup of coffee for your partner.
You know, sometimes he'll do that.
Yeah?
Not very often, but he'll do that sometimes.
The power of suggestion. I just heard the word coffee and I got to take a drink of coffee.
I know. I was like, well, I have my coffee here.
All right, there we go. All right, here we go. Bring up a funny moment from your past. I think we both could do this.
I try to do that. A lot of times we'll sit on the patio at nighttime.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, hey, remember when? And he's not as into that as I am, but I like to bring up the positive stuff.
Maybe, well, if I flip it then, if he did that for you, though, you would be like, wow, he's thinking about us and our past. And
totally. I wish he would do more of that stuff, but that's not him. He's not that kind of touchy-feely guy. Well, he is touchy-feely, but you know what I mean.
Maybe if he listens to this podcast, we can save your relationship. Bring up a funny moment from your past. We did that one. Work up a sweat.
Oh,
for both of you. It doesn't have to be together.
Okay.
I know where your mind was going. But just the idea of exercising and the endorphins that come along with that puts you in a better positive state. So that's a good way to, on your own, you don't have to do it together, get yourself in a better mindset and help your relationship. This one makes me laugh. This is from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. They suggest that you dance before dinner time. What year is this?
All right. Let me just say, I love to dance after I've had a few cocktails. And my husband will not dance at all. Never, ever, ever. Although one night we were in a country bar having a few drinks and there were some people swing dancing. And he said that he would learn how to swing dance with me.
Uh-huh.
And then COVID hit. So we haven't been able to do that. That's been, a year and a half ago. But I think that's fun. Do you and Steph do a little swing around the kitchen before dinner?
I have to confess, I think I would have been better at this in years past. Now I'd probably do what your husband does. I look at my wife like, really? I'm hungry. But that would be something that I could do better. This is an introspection time. All right. have adult relations in a different place.
Oh, we do that. You're not saying anything.
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, of course. But like, you're just like, we do that. It's kind of like the one word answer. It's the worst. If you're on if you're Jimmy Fallon and you ask somebody a long question and they're like, yes.
Well, we've gone up on our roof.
Okay, that's
brought blankets up on our roof. We have a flat roof, so that's a different place.
That is a different place. All right.
We parked at the airport one time.
Moving on to the next one. Give your partner a hug. That's simple.
Oh, yeah.
On the roof or
like
at the airport. Hug it out. This one I gotta read a little bit more. It says, ask a new question. It says, as a couple, you probably spend most of your time chatting about work, your kids, or your friends. When's the last time you stopped and asked something new about each other?
I try to do that, but I feel like after 23 years of marriage, I don't know what else to ask.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
No, I kind of I'm on the same page, but maybe it's just a challenge to think about something different. Maybe you can ask your husband the final question coming up later in today's podcast. Just to get the old juices flowing, if you will. All right. Okay. The last one is very simple. Again, this is from health.com. Remember to say thank you. Seems simple, but a good reminder to improve your relationship.
Well, I think we take each other, not just my husband and I, but I think couples in general end up taking their relationship for granted. And I agree that just saying thank you, like I'll put his dishes away sometimes. Hey, thanks for doing that would be nice. But I think we just kind of take each other for granted. I
agree. And so, to recap, Maria, have I improved your relationship with these 10 easy steps?
Actually, to be honest, I think you have. I'm going to work on digging deeper in questions, although he's pretty quiet, so that's probably going to bug him. And I will try to say thank you more often.
All right, let me give out our phone number at this point. If you want to comment on this list or have anything to say, we'll get to your message. We actually have a message to play in a little bit here. 424-235-3657 is our number. Again, 424-235-3657. If you have a comment about the easy steps, or if you want to add one, we'll talk about that on our next podcast. What do you have today on the show, Maria?
Speaking of relationships, I think, oh my God, this must have been the 80s because I was in high school. Do you remember when there were these hot tub clubs and you could rent a hot tub for X amount of people by the hour? Do you remember that?
So, yes. When I was in college, there was one and they had billboards and I think they ran TV commercials. And I was in college, so I had no money that could go do it, but it sounded like the most romantic thing ever. They'd have, on the commercials, it'd be champagne and roses and this hot tub place, and it was called Sybaris. That was the name of it. It was a chain in Chicago. Fast forward to, I think we were married at this point. In Detroit, we went to one called Oasis. And it was gross. It was like so dirty. And we went once, if that tells you anything. And it was like, oh, no.
Well, I grew up in a small town, Houghton Lake, Michigan, right there in the center of the state. And they had one there. And basically, it was rented by high school kids. And they smuggled in alcohol. And it was just like a place to have a party. And we would all chip in money.
Yeah.
Same thing. Been there once. It was kind of disgusting, actually. Yeah. There was a change. It was clean, I think, but then the idea that couples would go in there, all they did was have sex. It was like a cheap motel. And that the water was just filled with little sperms running around. That's the only thing I could think of.
Okay, gotcha. Little sperm just running around, getting their exercise.
Well, I bring it up because apparently these hot tub places are making a comeback. Listen to this.
In COVID?
The Beer Spa. It's called the Beer Spa. It's in Denver, Colorado. They just opened. And customers can rent out a hot tub where they soak in hot water while drinking various beers. That's it. That's what it says. And it says the tubs are scrubbed after each drinking session. Really? You know how long that would take to drain the hot tub, scrub it, and then put fresh water in it?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Ugh.
I get where they're going because, especially in Colorado, but all over the country, like these craft beer places are super popular and people are into it. It's the thing right now. So you combine beer, hot tub. It's probably cold still in Colorado. I could see why it would be an idea. If I were throwing some money at a business, this would not be something that I would get involved in.
Well, and it's weird because I'm kind of judgy McJudge pants on the whole renting a hot tub, but I own one. And it's not like we clean it out every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we're also not wiki every day either in there.
Are there little sperms running around in your hot tub?
Not recently.
All right. Remind me never to get in your hot tub. Thank you. And I never have been, by the way. That's good. That's good. Looking back. Wow.
No, but I mean, we have bromine and it's cleaned and my husband scrub. I mean, it's clean, but it's ours. I just can't imagine using a hot tub that 8 other couples have used before me. You know what I mean?
So we have our neighborhood has like a community hot tub, and I'll go there, and I've noticed pre-weekend they load it with chlorine. and I just can't let those thoughts enter my mind. I'm assuming none of that happens because it's a public place, but you know how people are.
You know what? I don't think people are necessarily having sex in the public ones, but they're certainly peeing in them.
Right. You're right. Yeah. And
you know,
during the winter, it's all kids in there too. So it's not like
and
the
you know
most,
they are.
But it's just not. Sometimes I'm like, we show up, like my wife and daughter and I will go there, and like you see like 4 kids splashing around. I'm like, do we want to do this? Like, it's just not relaxing. And then the kids want to talk to you and ask you 20 questions because you're in the same body of water. Gross. Thank you. I have an idea for you for a new drink or mini drinks, Maria.
Ooh, share.
I think you at least tolerate the seltzers. Do you like some of those sometimes, like a White Claw or any of those?
Yeah, they're okay. They're not my favorite, but they're okay.
So this can, I think you would try this. So Sonic, we all know Sonic all over the country.
Yeah.
They have taken some of their classic summertime iconic slushes and used those for flavors. They're actually selling their own hard seltzers now.
Oh, are they like icy, like they're slushies?
I don't think they're icy. Alcoholic? I think they just took the flavors that they sell. Oh. So they have, let's see, the citrus variety pack gives you cherry limeade, classic lemonade, lemon berry, or original limeade. Then they have a tropical variety pack that gives you melon, ocean water. I don't know what that tastes like. Mango, yeah, right, salty. Mango, guava, and then orange pineapple. And they're going to be rolling out on May 1st. So just in time for summer, you can get your Sonic on with your hard seltzers.
You know what? I would try those. They sound kind of sweet, though, because those Sonic slushies are very sweet. I don't know, but I would try it.
The one that I've found that I like the best, and they're not everywhere. If you see them, it's Golden Road. And they're a beer company first, but they have these seltzers out of California, and they have some really cool. It's not too sour, not too sweet. It's like a hint of cucumber, a hint of lime. You know, it's like it's not too much. So if you're looking for one to try that's not the Sonic one, give Golden Road a try. And if you're listening, Golden Road, we would love you to sponsor our podcast because we just gave you a free advertisement. Yes.
Ding!
Ding.
I wish I had a little bell.
Please.
Ding! You know, speaking of drinking, I thought this was kind of funny. My daughter, as we know, Lucy, has graduated from college, but some of her friends have not graduated as of yet. They'll graduate, in May.
Yeah.
And so she wanted to go on spring break. And I'm like, you don't have a spring break. You're like fully employed.
You're an adult.
And she goes, well, it's just for the weekend. So anyway, she was, she doesn't need to tell us what she's doing. She's 22 years old, but she was really cute. And she goes, hey, I just want to let you know, March 11th, I'm going to be going to California. We rented a VRBO. My girlfriends and I are going to spring break.
Gotcha.
I thought that was great because, she's letting us know where she is. So bless her heart. Last night, she FaceTimes me and she goes, Mom, you will not believe what happened. I'm like, what? She goes, the place that they've booked their VRBO called and canceled on them. And they're leaving in like a little over a week. Canceled spring break.
So what did they find out there was going to be a bunch of college-age kids there? Like, why would they cancel?
No, and that's kind of what I thought. But apparently,
first of all, were they going to California?
Yeah, they were going to California.
Okay.
And she looked at the place that they had booked and wanted to see if there were other dates available. And the whole thing was booked up through the rest of the year. So what she has, what she thinks has happened is somebody came in and said, hey, I want to rent your place for like the next year, like consecutively. Mm-hmm. And so they blew out all the other reservations. She already put down a deposit, the whole 9 yards. So she got her deposit back. But my husband was like, and I'm not one to write bad reviews, but he said, and I kind of agree, she should write a bad review because they had a deposit down, plans were made, and in a little over a week, 8 days before or 9 days before she's supposed to go, they cancel on her, and now she can't find another place. I think that's kind of shitty.
Oh, it's beyond. That's time. So she can put her college education to work here. She can write a strongly worded letter and end up with the same result. I guess that's the prerogative when you own the place. Did you see in Malibu? This was last week. I saw the story. There's a guy who rented his house. So Malibu is very expensive. So it's like a beachfront house, and he's a single prince or chic, almost like Coming to America type guy. So he's renting out this place in Malibu through VRBO, or what's the other one?
Airbnb.
Airbnb, through that company. So they're getting a profit of this. They're renting it $1 million per week, and he reserved it for 6 months. Like,
you could buy a place for that.
Well, in Malibu, I'm sure these houses are multi-million-dollar homes, but still $1 million a week. So that's 4 weeks in a month. Like, the math is crazy. 6 months.
Well, that's what I'm saying. For
$24 million.
For $24 million, he could buy a place.
I don't know. Maybe not the place he wanted. Yeah. And I guess if you're a prince of whatever and you got all that money, I just saw that and I'm like, and then I don't know what VRBO or Airbnb takes, but they're getting their percentage off of that that crazy. Like, it just seems like you would do the deal directly with somebody if you're going to do that kind of money. But
well, and then Luce was looking for other places to rent, and she couldn't find any. And a lot of them, you had to be like 25 years old to rent, and she's not 25 yet.
Yeah.
And she's like, Mom, Dad, will you sign for it? And we're like, not with 10 girls in a house. We're not going to be responsible for whatever the hell you guys do.
Right.
And then she sent me another one, and you had to be 30. And if everybody in the house were adults, everybody had to be 30. Like, I've never heard of that. They said because of the HOA, everybody had to be 30 years old to stay in the place.
That's crazy. So what's she going to do?
I don't know. That was last night. I'm sure she's looking for something new.
Yeah. Wow.
No
Mexico's
idea.
still an option, right? Can we go to Mexico right now? Is that open?
Oh, yeah. Mexico's open. My friends go down there all the time. I'll be going down there Memorial weekend.
Oh, okay. A couple of, as we're doing the family roundup here, I haven't had a chance to tell you. So my wife, through her work, was offered the vaccine, the COVID vaccine.
Oh, did she do it?
She did. So it was like 3-4 weeks ago, she got the first shot. And then on Monday of this week, she got the second shot. It's the Moderna shot. I think it's saying that Moderna, whatever it is. Now they've got Johnson & Johnson, and the other one's the Pfizer, but she got the Moderna. It's a 2-shot deal. So she's good to go, supposedly. And the only thing I can tell you about it is she was warned the first time she had no side effects, right? So that's everybody's
like
worried about.
The first shot?
Yeah. The second time, Monday, she came home from work after she got the shot, and she felt super tired and just didn't feel right. And all night, Monday into Tuesday, she had like night sweats, and then she was freezing. Night sweats, and then she was freezing.
That sounds like menopause.
It could have been. I don't know if that was, she's at that age. She could be getting there. But
right? I think it was a coincidence.
But she doesn't have that all the time. So Tuesday, she's totally fine. So I don't know. It's just something to think about as you, because I want to get the shot. In fact, So I was talking to a fellow broadcaster yesterday, and this gentleman shared with me that, at least in the state of Arizona, broadcasters are deemed essential.
Oh.
So you are eligible for the shot, supposedly. I don't know how all that works because I haven't gotten into it. But he's trying to get the shot, and he said, yeah, that's assumed. I don't know how essential some I'm assuming they look at it like, okay, broadcasters need to be able to spread news if something major happens. I'm not sure how that fit the essential list, but most people that do what we do aren't really spreading the news. So, I don't know.
Start spreading the news.
I got some good news for you. Speaking of news, Maria, this will either depress you or make you happy. You can decide. Okay. There's a woman from Texas. Her name is Andrea Amaro, and she broke a Guinness World Record for doing this. She has run the most half marathons on consecutive days. She ran a full marathon 14 days in a row.
Oh, my God.
All right, let's listen to her here. I got a little audio. Maybe. Play.
After that, I was hurting really, really, really bad. I struggle with an autoimmune disease. So after that day, I could barely walk. But I don't think there was a day that went by that I thought, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. It hasn't been nice, to be honest with you.
Now, I am a ex-runner. I used to run a lot more than I do now.
How about a former runner?
Retired. There was a runner in my past when I was in college and high school. But I hear this, and I did. I've run one full marathon. I wasn't even 20 years old yet when I did it in Chicago. Mm-hmm. I hear this, and I just remember, and I know that you can be in better shape and your recovery time would be better, but I remember I could just barely walk the next day. It's just, I can't imagine doing that and then getting up and doing it 14 times in a row.
Well, here's my question is why? I mean, she ran one and was miserable, almost didn't make it through, was sore, and then got up and did it again, and then got up, what was the point in all of this other than for us to talk about her?
I'm laughing because I knew you were going to say that. You ready to feel bad?
Yes.
She did it to raise awareness for mental health issues.
Oh, shit.
But she's not done. She's got another running challenge she's getting ready for. Here we go. Listen to this.
I'm taking a few days off. This coming Friday, I will be doing a David Goggins challenge. It's 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours.
Oh my God. Bless her heart.
little motivation for you. So that happened.
Now I feel like such a heel.
So I don't know if I ever told you this. My neighbor Ken, who is a runner, and we had mutual friends because he used to live in Michigan. Got to know him since we moved into this neighborhood. He has completed 100 marathons.
Over the course of his life.
Over the course of his life. And this was so sad when he told me this. Guess what his 100th marathon was?
What?
COVID hit, and he was scheduled to run one, I think it was last April. So he ran it in his living room on his treadmill.
Oh, that's sad.
Isn't that garbage? He was going to get this accomplishment, do 100 of them. 99 of them were normal on roads and in probably cool places to look at stuff. And the 100th one, he was in his living room watching TV on the treadmill. But he wanted to do it. So, and now he doesn't run like that anymore. He still runs, but not like that far.
Is he one of those super duper thin guys that has zero body fat and all muscle? I mean, your typical long distance runner looking guy?
Let me give two answers. A, if he's listening to this podcast, yes, he's super skinny and in great shape. My B answer, Ken, turn off the podcast. I think he's put on a little weight since he hasn't, because your body gets used to that level of intensity. We were watching Michigan play basketball together, and we were talking about running, and I'm like, you're gradually getting to be a normal human because you're not killing yourself every day with these crazy workouts. But
so the longest I've ever ran was like a 5K, and I didn't even run the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think recently. 5K is as long as I've gone recently. I did a ton of 5Ks and 10Ks when I was training for cross country and track back in the day. I've done 6 or 5 half marathons. I think we did a bunch of those. And those more recently, I did when my friend Tim passed away. We started going to Nashville every year and doing it in his memory. And then that got to be too expensive, and family took over and we didn't all do it anymore. My buddy Anthony does it. Actually, my friend Mike, who I think you've met before, he is training for his very first marathon in April. So,
well, good luck, Mike.
And he listens to this podcast. So thank you so much. If you are new to the podcast, or if you like the podcast, make sure you tell others about it. We have let me get this one voicemail on, because I thought it was kind of interesting. Our final question last podcast was, do you remember the first album you ever bought with your own money? And I like that question because parents bought me stuff, like parents buy stuff for you. But when you spend your own money on it, it actually sticks in your head. So I don't know if I got a message back as to who. I messaged this person. It's a female. I don't know her name or her hometown, but this is what she said.
So my first album was in about 1974. I was about 10 years old. And it was Feelings by Johnny Mathis. I walked up to Grant's store on Southern and Rural and saved my allowance, and I'm not sure why a 10-year-old was buying that album because it's kind of deep, but that's what it was, Feelings by Johnny Mathis. And I've been a sappy lover ever since.
Do you know that song? Do you know that song, Maria?
Feelings.
Is that it? I thought that's what it was.
Nothing more than feelings. Is that the one?
I think so. I don't know for sure. I think that's what it was. All right, so that's it. Thank you for calling. We'll give our number in just a second if you want to answer this week's final question.
The final question.
All right, here we go. If you could visit any fictional location from a movie or TV show, where would you want to visit?
Okay, so I saw a couple of the answers on our Facebook page because I know you posted that a little bit earlier, and I liked one of them. Can I share one of them that I saw?
I bet. Yes, because I actually had an answer, and then that person posted it, so we may all be in agreement. Go ahead. What is your answer?
Well, I'm not. I have a different answer, but I almost picked any town where there's a Hallmark movie. Like, those towns always look amazing and everybody gets along and the decorations are beautiful at Christmas time, that kind of stuff. So I almost picked that because I thought, oh my gosh, that was great, but she already chose that. So my fictional place that I would be?
Yes.
Pandora from Avatar.
Okay, so I saw the movie a long time ago. It's the blue people. What is there? Like, is it just like a lush green place?
Yeah, and there's the tree of life, and I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. But then I would have to be tall and blue, to live there. But I would say Pandora from Avatar.
Just a random thought. In Florida at Disney World, they have a tree of life. I think it's at Animal Kingdom when you come in, but I don't think it's a real tree. I don't know if Avatar is not a Disney thing, is it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay,
circling back. Hallmark, not where I'd want to go.
Really?
No, but my answer is in line with Cindy, who answered on our Facebook page. My answer, I would love to be at the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory Factory.
Ooh, that's a good one too. I didn't see that one.
Well, and let me just give you a little more info. I've never seen the Johnny Depp one. The Gene Wilder one is the one that I saw as a kid. And I just think that would be so awesome. I mean, I know it's fake, and that's the whole point of this question. But yeah, that's the fictional answer. Joel mentioned on our Facebook page he wanted to go to Blue Lagoon. Isn't that where like topless girls are at? I've seen that movie.
Oh, Blue Lagoon was Brooke Shields and the blonde guy. No, that's good too. That's beautiful. It's a beach.
Port Charles from General Hospital. That's Kathy.
That's funny.
Penny wrote the Hallmark Network. Oh, this was kind of a weird because I had to respond. I wasn't sure what this meant. So Gonzo, who is a constant podcast listener of this show, he wrote LV-223. What does that mean to you?
LV dash, what was it?
223.
223?
Yep.
Las Vegas 223? I don't know.
So I said, what? And he said, it's the test planet from the movie Prometheus and the Alien series.
Okay.
That's the
hashtag nerd.
I looked at my phone with that look, if you're watching on YouTube. Yeah, that was the answer. But there is no wrong answer. Again, if you could visit any fictional location from a movie or TV show, where would you want to visit? You can call us at this number.
It is 424-235-3657.
Call us right now, day or night. Leave us a message, and we will play back your answers on our next podcast. Again, 424-235-3657.
Thanks again for listening to Doing Life with Maria and Chad. Follow us on Instagram at Maria and Chad and Facebook. You can now listen for free in all these places. The radio.com app, on the iHeartRadio app, Spotify, the Amazon Music app, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Pandora, Podbean, and of course, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single episode.